Welcome back. Welcome back to Homestead Heart, you all. And I'm getting ready to harvest some onions. Did you all see that garden tour video? I had so much fun doing that video. It was a lot of fun doing that video because I'm always excited to see where the garden is at a certain point and then come back a few weeks later or maybe a month or so later and have a look at the garden and just look at the transformation, right? So I hope you all enjoyed that garden tour. If you didn't see it, I will put a link to it somewhere in the cards. Get out of there, bud. I will put a link in the cards for your viewing. All right, but right now I'm getting ready to harvest the onions. Many of you know I did this little thing to test out to see which way I like better of growing my onions. And some of them I cut the tops back and some I didn't. And these are the onions that I did not cut the tops back. And I just kind of let them grow and they were just kind of all over the place. But the tops have all fallen over, a lot of them. So in comparison to the others, the tops are still kind of growing and the bulb is still growing. But not cutting the tops back on these, I'm not sure. But they have started to fall over and they're not looking so good. So I've already started harvesting some. And again, you can see the tops. Look at that. Just nothing there, right? You could squeeze it and it's really, really soft, right? But that onion bulb is a nice size onion bulb. It's a good onion bulb for my use. So I'm okay with this onion. Some of them are a little larger. Like this one is a little larger than that one, right? Let me see if you can see it. Yeah. That one is a little larger. That's a nice size onion bulb. I'm okay with an onion bulb that size. So I know that it probably could have been a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull the ones out that are all bent over. Like this one, for example. Look. I don't know if you can see it, but the top is completely bent over. So I'm just going to gently maneuver this out of the ground. And this one is a little smaller. It's a little smaller, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get them out. Get back, Tony the Tiger. All right, so just in this area alone, you can see some of the onions have fallen over. Like this one is small, I know. This one, and you see how easy they come right up out of the soil too. I mean, they come up so easy. They come up really easy, y'all. I'm not really struggling to pull these onions up at all. Just taking the excess dirt off of them and putting them in my basket. Now the ones that are still standing, I'm going to cut the tops back on these a little bit, but I'm going to harvest just everything that is laying down. That's it. And just look at how easy they come up. I mean, it takes no effort at all to pull them up. No effort whatsoever to pull up these onions. That's a little bit larger size of a bulb. Hey you, get out. That's a nice size onion bulb. That's awesome. All right, you all. So these are all of the onions that I harvested today, and they're all different sizes. Some of them are a lot smaller than others, but I'll tell you, for the most part, I got some really nice sized bulbs here. As I just kind of reach in and grab some different areas, you can see they're all different sizes, right? You can see some are smaller, like these, right? And like this one. And then we have some that are a little larger, right? So we have some that are a little larger, a little smaller, and that's fine. You know, the beauty of this is that I got my onions. I have my own organic onions, right? And because these are small, then I'll just use 2 in the place of the 1, right? Which is perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do, you all, is I'm going to sit these in my greenhouse on that rack that I used to put all of the seed starting trays on. I'm going to use that rack, and I'm just going to start putting these in the greenhouse, and I'll just leave them in there for a few days and let them dry out, okay? And then once they get really, really dry, once they dry out, then I'll take them and I will put them inside in the house. I always save those onion bags. You know how you go to the store and you buy those onions in those little net bags? Well, I save those. And so now I have bags big enough to put, I don't know, onions in, right? And you can always just buy the larger bags too, but I don't need a bag that big, right? I wouldn't want all those onions in one bag. So I'm going to use the smaller bags. And like I said, all of these that I don't put to use right away, some of them I will just dice them up and put them in the freezer. And for those of you who've never heard of frozen onion before, you can actually go to the supermarket and buy vegetables frozen, like celery, onion. Come on, all of them, right? Broccoli, cauliflower, everything frozen. Now, I'm not blanching them and freezing them. I'm just going to chop them up and freeze them. That's it. And then when I'm ready to use them, I can use them in whatever I'm going to use them for, whether that's going to be to put in salads, in any other foods that I might cook, soups, stews, whatever. I can use my frozen onions the same way I'll use fresh onion, okay? So some of these, you all, and I'm not rinsing these off, all right? I'm not doing anything to these. I'm going to leave them just like this until they dry out. And then I will be able to store them after they're dry. Now, some of these I'm about to take them in the house because I'm about to use some of these today. So yeah, I think I'll probably use some of the smaller ones today. And actually, like this one, this red onion, it was 2 of them planted a little too close together. So yeah, but these right here, I'm just going to take these in the house. I'm going to start dicing these red onions up. I love red onions. I'm going to start dicing them up, and I'll be putting these in the freezer as well, because these are kind of small. A lot of the red ones that I harvested, just look. A lot of them are really, really small. And I think I know what happened with these being this small, because some of them are larger. They're still in the bed. They're still growing. We didn't harvest all of them. Some of them are still in the bed growing. But these right here that's really small, I think I know what happened. I think it was an issue with water, because the water was very inconsistent. I hardly ever watered these beds. I think the majority of the water they got came from the rain, which is a problem, because if you have onions, onions love water. And I just wasn't able to get around to watering them like I wanted to. And by the time I put a sprinkler on them, they was already suffering, so, but that's okay. These will still be put to good use. I don't know if this was an issue, if it was a variety. I don't really know, because as you can see, the other onions grew just fine, and they were all on the same watering schedule, if you will, so I'm not really sure if it was the variety or what. But in any case, I'll be doing more research on this, because I want to make sure to grow a nice size red onion. It don't have to be ginormous, but I do want a good size red onion, because again, This one is my favorite. I love red onion. Okay. All right. So that's it. Not quite it. The white onions, as you can see, some of them did real good and some of them didn't. And it happens. See? Right? In the plants that we received for the white onion, some of them start off a lot bigger than others. And I'm thinking that because I didn't have very many plants of the white onion and the red onion that had a nice sized bulb to begin with, the bulb that was underneath it was almost non-existent on some of these white and reds. So I'm wondering if that also is playing a role in the size. Because if this onion here was much bigger in size from the beginning, of course by this time it's going to be bigger than this one at the same time, right? The growth rate. So I'm wondering if that played a role by some of the bulbs being a lot smaller, versus in the yellow onion, all of the majority of the bulbs were kind of uniform in size. You know, a lot of them had that nice size bulb at the very beginning of it all. So, and some of them didn't, but I did have more of the yellow onions also that I can choose to plant only the ones with a larger bulb at the base. So I think that made a difference in the size. As you can see, I think it made a big difference in the size, right? All right, y'all, that is going to do it for today's onion harvest. Thank you all so much for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our video a nice big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we upload to our channel. Thank you all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. We'll see y'all in the next video. Awesome onion harvest. Plenty of onions. Love it.